Will Ospreay gives honest advice to latest round of WWE releases. So let's hear the advice Ospreay has to give to these releases from WWE. He says, for example, bruv. Ospreay said, for example, one of the guys who just came in, Speedball McBailey, bruv. Wow, yeah, this site sucks. I'm going to get off of that site. Sorry, WrestleZone, you guys are glitchy. But he just says he was going everywhere and putting in some of the greatest matches ever. That's what we're looking at more now instead of guys that just got let go from WWE. My heart goes out to them all, but we're looking for guys that are appreciative of this position. So what, are you saying the people who are there aren't? Bruv needs to shut the up, man. The most interesting about him is when he talks about WWE. Moving along here. AEW, man, they wanted attention. The wars have commenced, and they wanted smoke till the smoke came. Aaron Loves Wrestling says WWE claims they don't see AEW as competition, but when they book their PLEs around AEW pay-per-views, it says otherwise. WWE is low-key threatened. No, you idiot. God damn it. And I hate to call you an idiot, bro, but here's the thing. AEW books their pay-per-views around WWE's. What WWE's doing is booking them on the day. WWE is low-key threatened by AEW. No. And he says, I love both promotions, but AEW won this weekend and beat both Saturday night's main event and Battleground. This is just like a dumb thing to say. So I go, it's not low-key if they're directly counter-programming as well. So they're like, they're threatened by low-key. No, it's not low-key. They're being upfront about what they're doing, clearly. And I just go, these takes are ass dog. Double or Nothing sold as many tickets as Battleground. Like, we got to stop this delusion. And that's the problem. Double or Nothing sold. And people are like, it outsold Battleground. Huh? Yeah, but like 1,000 tickets. And that's questionable. And that shouldn't be celebrated. Because if SummerSlam sold only 1,000 tickets more than Fyter Fest or whatever, you guys would be laughing. And I would be laughing too. I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? And that's the equivalency there. Not this y'all be babbling about. So someone just posted all this. Look at all these receipts. Tony Khan going, a moral victory for USA is one win more than their world title challenger Jinder Mahal has had in the past 364 days because it's been literally a full year since he won a match. You really put AEW in our place getting Jinder Mahal in a big match on your TV show. Do it more often. Taking shots at gender. Tony Khan, WWE's like the Harvey Weinstein of pro wrestling. Tony Khan saying, an independent study has confirmed that much of the staunch anti-AEW online community aren't real individuals. It's a staff running thousands of accounts, plus an army of bots to signal boost them. Look closely. These aren't real people who'd pay for such a wildly expensive thing. Meanwhile, Tony got caught doing that. They've been caught doing that. E-drones aren't caught doing that fully. Y'all were caught doing that with the tweets where it's verbatim the same. And then a bot literally tweeted out the same thing. Becky Lynch responded, actually. An independent study. Oh, yeah, when Becky Lynch destroyed Tony, she tweets out an independent study confirmed that much of the staunch anti-Becky in-arena booers aren't real individuals. It's a staff running thousands of AI. Holy man, just owned Tony Khan. What a geek, man. Tony Khan says, this week, 2 active decades-long rating streaks from 2 great legends were ended. Taking a shot at Cena and Undertaker. With all due respect, until this week's head-to-head AEW on TBS versus WWE on USA, neither Cena nor Undertaker had ever been on a show with under 1 million total viewers, under 400K in the demo. And then again, just more shots. When the AEW wrestlers mention and insult WWE, Bryan Danielson name drops WrestleMania Dynamite. CM Pumpkin Pie says, it is weird trying to catch up on 5+ years of wrestling. I'm doing what I can. Whatever. And then Tony Khan says, no one is safe. Sounds like a plane full of wrestlers in Saudi Arabia taking shots at WWE. I forgot about some of these. Cody Rhodes, your title reign would be worse than your neck tattoo. That's what MJF said, right, on Dynamite years, like a year after Cody left, 2 years after he left. AEW Dynamite crushes NXT. Ran these ads during SmackDown, right? That's what Alfred Konuwa, right? AEW Dynamite trounces NXT. They put that in their commercial there from Forbes. That was Alfred who said that, right? They ran that shit during Raw or whatever. AEW Dynamite buries NXT. The bald assholes, right? Everything. All of this shit. They've poked the fucking bear forever. Now they're getting bitch slapped around. Now the sickos want to fucking cry about it. It's never ending. It's fucking nuts. Again, they just wanted smoke till the smoke came. They wanted to talk all this shit. And then now that Triple H and Shawn Michaels are like, dude, we're not going to just ignore you like fucking, or we're going to ignore you, but we're going to do, like, they're petty as shit, bro. It's Shawn Michaels. He'll super kick a guy and throw him into a box and that says OVW. You think he's not going to, like, go as hard as he can on the paint and you motherfuckers for this. Vince would just like ignore TNA and just like not even really sell for them. WWE's like, yeah, we're going to fucking take shots. We're going to book your old guys better. And we're going to fucking utterly destroy you by booking our NXT shows head to head with your shit. They're threatened by them. No, they're just siphoning people away little by little. They're just going, hey, we're doing a show at the same time, and they don't need to do their big show at the same time. That's how you know they're not threatened. If they were threatened, they'd go, okay, SummerSlam versus All In or whatever the fuck. They're not threatened about that. That's why they're putting NXT. They're just siphoning people off. And if they can just put a dent, they're going to put a dent. And it hurts them more to have NXT doing better than AEW, than Raw and SmackDown, you know? So, yeah, just tons of people with tons of fucking terrible takes on this shit. There's a tongue twister, tons of people with terrible takes. So Konosuke Takeshita wants to introduce his fans to his family, Yuka Sakazaki, and their dog Kenshiro. Takeshita is married to Yuka Sakazaki, who's also wrestled in AEW and shit. And he says he's about to turn 30, even though he's trying to grow up. He still has a lot of things he can accomplish. It's quicker to name 100 things he can't do than 10 things he can do. My wife, Yuka, helps me do these 100 things every day with a few faces. And instead of patting me on the back, she gives me a pat. You're always there for me. Did you send something when you saw us? Basically just a little love ode here. It was translated as well, so it doesn't translate one-to-one. But yeah, he's been secretly married to Yuka, and he unveiled it to everybody. So good for him, man. This guy, fuck the Fed and their counter-programming. Tony Khan on WWE's constant counter-programming against AEW. It's pretty consistent. I'd say it's the most consistent event head-to-head scheduling of all time. Or whatever he said. Those fucking pressers suck now. They're fucking so trained and so like dialed in beforehand. 100%. Even just Tony's confidence in answering the questions and how he's less awkward. It's because like he knows now to control those shits. They're just a work. Like they're fucking terrible. And then Tony Storm just comes out and then does her little hickory dickory dock. Oh, one of the wrestlers comes out and cries. But yeah, here's Tony again, his quote: "The Friday Night War, which by the way is a matter of record in fucking court in the state of California." So he's proud of the counter programming. Remember, guys. But now he's like, no counter programming. So Kevin Nash believes, and shout out Sean Oliver and Kliq This, he believes that Tony Khan is autistic.
Number one, he's autistic, man. You got to give the guy a little bit of slack. I mean, I'm serious, man. Fuck it. I had an autistic kid.
Well, I don't think that they were making fun of that so much as some of the
yeah, but who's to say
some
that
of the things he has said?
Yeah, but at what point of the spectrum is he on? Like,
I mean, it is a good question, dude.
I've never sat down and had a conversation with the guy.
Well, is this confirmed before we say this? Like, is this confirmed that he's on the spectrum? Or are we? All right, I got to zoom in on that.
It's like, come on. Yeah, he's severely ADHD or something, for sure.
I'm sorry. Okay, if you're going to pick between his actions and say he's probably on the
oh, they're doing my show now. Oh, no.
Spectrum, as is Elon Musk, as is 90% of the people, or he's just another billionaire crackhead. Which one would you tend?
Yeah, Tony's not on drugs. If you know drug people, he's not a drug guy. He might be on like a prescription drug, like Adderall or something, but he's not like people call him crackhead and shit, but he's not that, but it's funny to say. It's not like that isn't funny,
I believe.
I don't think he's a crackhead, if that's what you're asking me.
Right.
Okay, so let's see. Mick Foley and MJF had a top secret meeting for Foley's final match. So Mick Foley recently revealed on the Casual Conversations that he had a top secret meeting with MJF. He said, "I had a top secret meeting with MJF about the possibility of having one last match with him. He laid out like 6 really solid weeks of storytelling." As Foley shared while he praised MJF's creative vision, calling his ideas good and noting they could have been a really good 6-week program. Foley admitted the match doesn't currently look likely to happen. No shit. But from deathmatch guys to MJF to Karrion Kross, like in WWE, He's so good and such a great pro that he would have lifted my game on the microphone, and we could have probably found a way to work around my weaknesses in the ring. Even if it wasn't a great match, I bet you we could have convinced a lot of people it was a great match. Yeah, for sure. I just don't want to see you like get hit in the head more and stuff, Foley, you know, dude. So SRS, and he caught shit from Eddie Kingston for this. So Sean Ross Sapp is like, Hangman and Will Ospreay both pushed for each other to win the AEW Double or Nothing main event in the week leading up to the event. Fightful Select has learned. Full story behind the match is now for subscribers. And then JD said, sounds like neither of them should be world champion then. Imagine heading into the biggest match of both of their careers, and neither of these guys want it enough. It's okay if it goes to someone else. Just give it back to MJF and call it a day. Oh, I agree with this. It's like, man, fuck these guys then. They both don't want to take the ball and run with it. And so it just proves also that Tony Khan had no fucking plan.
The best guy is Tony Khan.
Tony Khan has had no fucking plan this whole time for who's going to dethrone Mox, the end game to this story. Or let's say he says, there has been a plan. Then it likely means Mox was going to beat whichever one of these guys is fucking going, or it's been Ospreay, so Hangman's going to lose. So it kind of just spoils it either way. It's shitty. And it's all good, though. Like, you got to put it on either Ospreay or Hangman or, like, Darby, like an AEW original. I'm all good with that. But basically, it was stooged to Sap here that Hangman and Ospreay both pushed for each other to win. It's like, man, put it on Joe or MJF then. Like, they at least want the ball and will run with it. Like, fuck you guys. You don't even, we're ushering in a new era, bruv. Restore the feeling. Be about it. Put your money where your fucking mouth is. I'm the greatest wrestler, bruv. I wrestle circles around WWE. We'll go prove us. No, I'm a sign over here, bruv, where it's easy to do what I do, and I'll get rewarded for doing this shit. No one will check me, and we can't really prove how great I am. Oh, yeah, I'm the great. I restore the best in the world. Okay, we'll be our world champion. Oh, no, bruv. I'm not really about AEW like that, bruv. What the fuck? You guys know what I'm saying? Like, yo, these guys aren't about it, you know? And that's just honestly what it is. We love the sport of professional wrestling, so I'm going to go over here where I wrestle way west, bruv. Way less times, bruv. But I just fall down on me head more. Like, who wants it, bro? Who really wants it? Go tell someone in WWE, hey, you got, and that, like, you be world champion. And then Mox pushed for Hangman. That's why it's Hangman, by the way, because they've worked together a bunch. And so Sean Ross Sapp got this news, right? And I wonder from where. But Eddie Kingston took a screen grab of it and fucking posted on his Instagram, like, we know who told you this, who the leaker is, bitch, or whatever. So he's mad at Sappy. They know who the leaker is. A mole. It's probably Will Washington or some shit. No, like, he fucking worked for Fightful. I mean, pretty fucking obvious there. But yeah, Eddie Kingston's all pissed about it, and they have someone leaking. And notice, too, when it comes to WWE, they have nothing unless it's made public already, or unless Phil Marks says it first, and none of these fuckers will ever admit that shit. But it's not, they just have public fucking info that anyone can look up with WWE. With AEW now, they still have talkers. With TNA, they still got people talking. Speaking of people talking, apparently, according to Brian Alvarez, okay, so we got some Brian here. People in AEW believe the pay-per-views, including Double or Nothing, are too long. So when I say this shit for years, your sicko commander believes the same thing. Brian Alvarez here saying the same shit, you fucking sickos. And the wrestlers, when I tell these dumb fucks on X, hey, you know the wrestlers you think you support, they fucking disagree with you. For the most part, the vocal fucking idiots who kiss the boots, kiss the fucking ring, and are super vocal to keep Tony happy, and the dirt sheets writing good shit about them, yes, they, of course, are on your side. They're fucking sickos, just like you. They're on Twitter all the time, okay? You know the ones I'm talking about. But the wrestlers backstage, they don't fucking agree with some of you sickos, man. And less can be more, okay? They don't agree with you, Dave. They make better time of wrestling. I don't think the wrestlers agree with that. They make better time of wrestling. There's no debating that, but the shows are too long because it's overstuffed with wrestling, you dumb fuck. So they don't make the better time of the wrestling then because we're saying the shows are too long. Fuck, man. It's just so ridiculous how stupid Dave is. But anyways, Brian says, yesterday I spent the whole day talking to all sorts of people in AEW. I will say with one exception, because if I say everybody, then you know. But it was actually everybody. Every single person was like, these shows are too long. We all know it. They should end before midnight on the East Coast. Every single person in the company they talked to, except Tony, because I didn't talk to him. because Tony doesn't talk to Brian. He talks to Dave. And that's a shoot, I'm telling you. Because, of course, he doesn't think they're too long. Exactly. Every single person there. So Brian saying, I talked to everyone there. I talked to fucking, I'm assuming, wrestlers, camera people. Like, you know, I talked to everyone, producers, all sorts of people is what he's saying. And Tony is just there. Another amazing show. This is great. It's amazing. Another tremendous success. And Dave's like, yep. And even fucking Brian is like, these shows are too long. Everyone in AEW agrees these shows are too long. Hey, chat. I've been saying forever these shows are too long. Hey, chat. AEW people agree that fucking Brian's not lying here. They agree that these shows are too fucking long. Okay, this is what everyone's been saying forever. And then the sickos are like, just don't watch the pre-show. That's what some of these sickos were saying. Just don't watch the pre-show. Skip those matches. Just watch. So don't watch AEW. You guys are that demented now. You're literally telling each other, don't watch AEW so you can enjoy more of the pay-per-view of AEW. And they're just destroying themselves, and they hurt AEW more because they're trying to defend this. And even Dave's like, well, they use the wrestling time better. That's a fact. You can't argue it. And then he goes on to argue it himself. Well, the show was too long. It was overstuffed with wrestling, Brian. So again, these people are fucking idiots, hypocrites. They don't keep the same energy, and they attract people of the same ilk. So here's proof from Ango PW that Tony Khan has no idea what the fuck he's doing. So we are going to share this tab.
Booker, honestly, of all time. Let me explain. If you guys are unaware, Fightful Select just dropped a report that Hangman Page and Will Ospreay found out about the decision of who was going to win at Double or Nothing very last minute. Now, essentially, it's been reported that Hangman Page and Will Ospreay pushed for each other to win. And then Tony Khan was said to be non-committed until earlier in the weekend. Apparently, John Moxley also pushed for Hangman Page to win, but there is no clear indicator as to whether or not that was the reason why we got Hangman to win. Now, with that being said, this obviously caused a lot of shock. Now, how does Tony Khan have a tournament for months and not know who the winner is going to be? Better yet, how does Tony Khan have a storyline where his company is being taken over by the Death Riders and you have no clear-cut plan as to who will save your company from this storyline? So now we're going into All In with a company who doesn't have a long-term plan or a long-term vision. Yet, apparently, I'm the bad guy when I say that AEW lacks long-term storytelling. And the reason why I say that is because there are a lot of flaws and holes and gaps within their
Yeah, and there's like rules of fucking storytelling, man.
ability to tell these kinds of stories. If Tony Khan couldn't make a decision until last minute, that tells you he didn't know what the plan was the entire time. That's a problem. Tony Khan might be the dumbest.
Like, you see this shit all the time, man. You see, or people will be like, yeah, this is the story's this. Well, they fought before. So, like, well, Ricochet and Mark Briscoe have been cutting promos on each other. So it's a stretcher match. You guys don't watch the show. No, doesn't mean it results in a fucking stretcher match. This is what I talked about earlier, too. Dave's like, by definition, swerving isn't good booking. It's like, what the fuck, Dave? What do you know about storytelling? You can't even make up good lies for your fucking shitty dirt rag newspaper. What do you know about it? Like, it just drives me insane, right? Like, you see this, man. There's this dude. It happened recently in the comic world. It's happened as well, where this dude, like, fucking, he just pumped out these shitty comics, and people are calling it out, and they're critiquing him, and they're like, well, bro, like, this is a detective story, but you're not doing this and this. And he's like, it's not a detective story. He says in the book he's not a detective. And it's like, are you fucking dumb? Like, that's not what the detective story is not about cops. You know, it's like in AEW, it's like, are you fucking dumb? Like, just because this happened, a thing happened, doesn't mean it's valid or legit, you know? Same thing with the Bronson Cobb thing. I'm not going to get over that, because it's like, no, even though they explained it on the show, even though they just addressed, well, Bronson beat up Seth a bunch, that doesn't mean it's good. You know, just because they addressed that, it doesn't mean, right? Like, it just ruins all the shit I was invested in before. It's like the sequel ruining the prequel, for fuck's sakes. You know, and it's just people don't understand these things about storytelling that I love and that lots of people love and enjoy in television in general. Like, you're doing TV. If this wasn't TV, I wouldn't give a fuck. I'd be like, no, dude, they show up and they throw down and tell the story in the ring. Yeah, that's what you do on indies. So it's just like, I love that Ango. He articulated that well and brings it to light. And exactly, you're called a bad guy when you're like, wait a minute. Have any of you, like, written anything? Like, what the fuck? Like, even just for fun? The fuck are you doing? But on October 26th, 2025, John Moxley will have officially spent more time in AEW than WWE. That's actually a crazy stat. It's like how Kurt Angle was in TNA longer than he was in WWE. And you think about it, you're like, holy shit, man, that's true. And yeah, it's the same with Dean Ambrose. Like, he's going to be in AEW longer than he was ever even in WWE already. And it's like, time just fucking flies, man. So heel Uzi posts Tony I think we watched that. So 6 years ago today, in a segment called The Electric Chair, Sami Zayn mentioned AEW by name on their programming. Let's take a quick listen.
You could ask me anything. You could have asked me about AEW. Hey, Sammy, hey, so listen, I know you mentioned the Universal Champion. You mentioned frankly, you could ask.
That was funny when they were doing the electric chair. And so I tweeted out, they would have never done this if they were ever worried about AEW. This actually helped AEW, which WWE did for no reason. That's what drives me nuts, is this revisionist history where people pretend that being mentioned multiple times by WWE didn't help AEW early on. Vince was trying to prop up his competition so he could try and squash it later. 100%. And that's what it is. Like, he's just tried to prop them up so he could fucking kill them. He just loves power, you know? We know that for a fact. So Earl Hebner versus Aubrey Edwards, right? So Earl Hebner had this to say about Aubrey Edwards. When asked about today's crop of officials in WWE and AEW, Hebner made it clear he respects Edwards' in-ring work, but couldn't resist tossing in an old-school type jab along the way. He says, Aubrey, she thinks she's a big superstar, but she's a good ref. I'll give her credit for that. Hebner then referenced a recent AEW angle that saw Edwards involved in a spot with a guitar shot. That's when he joked about the aftermath of the segment. Hebner says, but last time I was at the AEW show, I asked the upper office, like, I forgot his name now. But anyway, I go, why'd y'all hit her in the head with the guitar? It just makes her damn head bigger than what it is, you know? Come on, man. So he's not trying to offend her, but he thinks she's got a big head, and it shows. Everybody knows that. Britt Baker, her AEW contract status has been revealed to an extent. So again, Sean Ross Sapp says that Britt Baker's deal was supposed to be up in the fall of 2026, but there's likely to be injury time added onto that as well. So she'll be locked up again into 2027. I mean, I've been saying 2025 and 2027 is going to be crazy years. 2026 might chill a bit unless some people get frozen. I just think the next few years we'll see a lot of people sort of ping-ponged around, but yeah, I don't know if Britt Baker would be welcomed into WWE, like by the fans and shit. So AEW morale is way up following Double or Nothing 2025. So according to everybody backstage, they're all saying the fucking show's too long, but the morale's way up. But these shows are so long, but the morale's high. What the fuck? What happened? So fans were leaving because it was so late, and people were leaving the main event. Like, look, you can see what happened. That's the same side of the building, I believe. Like, you can see on this side, closest to, I guess, the screen you're viewing from. It's like packed, and then later that's the same side, but from the other angle, and it's like fucking super empty. And you got to think people were just leaving, and that's just because the shows are too long, man. Everybody agrees on that, and that's shitty to do to your wrestlers and your fans, as it was pointed out as well, because I kept saying, like, dude, running these bigger buildings and people have to go in a vapid empty building, like, yeah, there's less lines and shit for the bathroom, but you know, you're paying you're paying like for the ticket, and then you're paying for like a pass for parking, which costs more than the ticket, right? And then you're paying like, you're being super overcharged for fucking beers and hot dogs and whatever you're getting there, you know? So you're in one of these big buildings. So it's just not good fan service as much as, I mean, I guess you could say, oh, there's no lines and shit, but okay. But the frat house is taking on Rhinogram. So Rhino's in Ring of Honor teaming up with Hologram, I guess. So that's cool. Good for him. So Tony Khan says, it's been the most consistent event scheduling head-to-head I've ever seen since Jim Crockett Promotions saw a lot of event scheduling that went that way, and I can tell you, this will go a lot differently than that did. So Tony's confident, like, they're going to fight back and start defeating WWE or something, you know? This will go differently than it did. We're not going out of business, because he has infinite pockets, right? So Mariah May posts this video, and this person says, Mariah being given a lesser hotel room in Chicago compared to other AEW members. And Mariah May goes, what's new? So what the fuck? Doesn't like her position. She's getting a shitty hotel room in AEW, and she's like, what's new?
So I'm coming to you from Chicago. Check the view, but like there's not really anything to write home about. I got really screwed over with the rooms. Everybody came in my room and was like, oh. I'm like, what do you mean? Oh. So I feel like everyone else has like a gorgeous view of the skyline. I'm not, so I'm coming to you from Chicago.
Yeah, so she got stiffed on some shitty room, and she's like, what's new? So she's joking around, I suppose, but AEW's out here comping floor seats, according to Awful Wrestling, and you can see it on the ticket admission. It's a comp, floor seats. So we know that all of these attendances are like super overly padded, and so is all in Texas. So realistically, Raws have outdrawn shit, you know? But yeah, Eddie Kingston says, people know who leaked it, you fucking jerk off, about who leaked to SAP. Dirt sheets are cooked. I've talked about it ad nauseum, but this year they're fucking cooked. And yeah, man, you cater to these fucking dirt sheet geeks and they just leak your shit. Like, they don't care about AEW. They just all want to be like, I have the news first. Listen to me for the news. We know I text MJF. He comes on my stream, so don't aggregate. It's cringe, man. So Tony Khan had this to say about Scorpio Sky. The biggest non-answer ever. He's like, I like Scorpio Sky. It's interesting. Scorpio Sky's name came up recently. You mentioned he was looking to come back, and I had talks with Scorpio Sky about different ideas and things we could do. In greater detail, Scorpio Sky's somebody who's been here from day one and who I have a lot of respect for. I really like, and he said that. And I actually had talked to Scorpio Sky about doing something, and we ended up going with something different in a different direction. It's kind of a long story, but it would make a lot of sense in a context. But maybe now it's not the time. I had an idea for Sky that I think was a good idea, and we talked about it. And I think it didn't work out for reasons between us. But also, it's totally a legit thing, and I'm fine with it. And I would like to use it for a different idea when the time is right. So you had an idea for him. He said this is a bad idea. So you go, okay, I have no more ideas. You just got to be benched until I come up with another idea. But I have no ideas. Tony's fucking ass, dog. We got to be honest. How's that even an answer? And then Deonna Purrazzo also has something to say. LaRon Ford says, are you pulling up to Dynamite tonight? And then Deonna Purrazzo says, during picture-in-picture, probably. So take that as you will. Take that as you may. But her and Mariah May have something to say about maybe how they're being used. And Thekla just debuted tonight, so Mariah May, where's her spot go? Mariah May ain't coming back. But Jim Ross will undergo cancer surgery tomorrow, no plans to retire. And he says, it's crazy to say, King, but I don't plan on retiring, by God, until I'm broken in half. So and his surgery is successful. So he says, happy to say that today's cancer surgery was a success. Now we begin to rehabilitate. Fuck yeah, the GOAT, dude. And Metro Boomin quote tweeted and posted about Jim Ross and was like, get better, GOAT. He's amazing. So far, the AEW Double or Nothing pay-per-view has peaked with 6,600 views on YouTube during the Anarchy in the Arena match, which indicates that's roughly how many buys they received for the show on the platform. So if you're in the chat at this point, during the pay-per-view, during Anarchy in the Arena, and you're participating in the YouTube chat, it's likely that's how many people bought it through the YouTube fucking app, you know, because they're otherwise you're just staring at a screen, and I don't even know if you can participate in chat. And then this asshole is like, what's the point of this post? You forget they are on Amazon Prime, pay-per-view, cable, and satellite outlets? And then Switchblade says, to show how many viewers they had watching the YouTube stream of the pay-per-view. YouTube is by far the biggest streaming platform out there, so it's good data to have to know how many buys they likely did on the #1 streaming platform, right? So these idiots, these sickos don't know this. They're brainwashed to think 30% on Max, 30% on Amazon, 30% in our polls, Brian. So Chris Spade says YouTube is the top streaming platform for free content, but is not known for pay-per-views. So again, just sickos talking out of their assholes. It's not the top streaming service for paid TV services. There's only 125 million people who have that compared to Prime 205 million. This is how stupid people are. More people just listen to audio on YouTube than Spotify and Apple and SoundCloud and all that shit combined. Now imagine how many people watch YouTube compared to Netflix. Holy fuck, man. And so, yeah, just Nielsen. YouTube is 12.4%. They're literally the leader. They're literally the fucking leader in this shit. So Switchblade's like, from Nielsen, what is the top streaming service among paid TV services? Are you telling me Prime is known for pay-per-view? No. What major pay-per-views have aired on Prime? You think more people bought the AEW pay-per-view on on Fubo or payperview.com. Exactly. These fucking idiots, man. It's just insane. And then so many people were like, is it not on Triller? And then Dave's putting out fucking tweets. So Elena Black, FKA Cora Jade, says, I want to wrestle Deonna Purrazzo. And Deonna Purrazzo says, tell me when and where. So, the ladies are disgruntled in the back. And before we wrap up AEW news entirely, I do want to show you guys this botch from Dynamite, actually. So if we take a look over here, here's Adam Cole almost being completely smashed to oblivion on his neck.
And now Fletcher.
Literally powerbombed on his fucking neck. Look at this. Do you guys see that? Do you guys see that? That's what Adam Cole's doing.
Come on now, Eric.
The wrestling's better. You just can't argue that.
Are you sure about that?
Look at that shit. I feel so bad for Adam Cole, baby. Jesus Christ, man. And this is a guy who suffered from concussions, who almost never came back, who's been so fragile that he's been dizzy and fallen down and passed out and may never compete again already. And look at what Fletcher just did to this guy. For what? You just had your pay-per-view. Why would you do this on your show? That's just incredibly sloppy fucking shop. And I really can't even believe that. That's embarrassing, man. Okay, and that was, unfortunately, AEW news.
I smashed your knee to oblivion.